Monte have grinded their way through the Tier 2 scene and have qualified the Stage 2 of the Major with practically no household names. Rather than using star power, they've done it by using great team play. And in poetic fashion, they've done it with their first pick being Dust2, showing there is more to this map than just Angels. On Monte's CT side, you'll often find them playing aggressive towards middle. In this round, they're actually aggressive towards lower tunnels. When they've cleared this out, they can then come back to middle and crunch it together. See Gizmy gets the entry, and then there's players fighting from short with a flash. And they're going to get a nice 5v3, which eventually they're going to convert. Now the following round, we can again see them be more heavy towards middle, as Afro's going to start here with the op, and Azu is going to get very aggro in lower tunnels again, this time by himself. But when he gets that first pick, Rainwaker's close tunnels to help him get the second. And another reason why Monte's Dust2 is so strong is because they've got Afro. And Afro can consistently find picks across the map. And so what you're going to find in the start round is that Monte are constantly just going to be giving him support util so he can find opening picks like these. However, when coming up against tier 1 opposition, like Falcons, who obviously have so many superstars, Monte need more than one person to just shoot hard. Monte need a different way to win. And Monte's way, normally, is to play kind of as a pack and by creating chaos in the rounds, and then they can kind of win rounds more on reads and by playing together rather than people winning big aim duels or finding crazy timings. In this round, we're going to see that they've lost long control, they're playing from mid, and then Falcons are going to block them off. But look at the rotates in this round. Now, Azu, who's the B rotate, has came to A. Gizmy's close short. They've flashing long and short at the same time. Gizmy gets flashed in for this pick. He's also going to get flashed again, which he wisely doesn't wide swing on. But then there's a molly being thrown. Afro's there holding with the op. And BMAS is holding a long smoke that he previously threw for himself. This round, Monte worked really well together and didn't give Falcons much of a chance to actually just take these duels. However, despite Monte's strong CD sides, it's on the T sides, where on Dust2 and Nuke they've really struggled, and we can even see that on the stats where they are rock bottom of the deaths traded percentage. And we can also see this in the demos. In this example, we're going to see Azu is going to attempt to clear the lower tunnels by himself, but he doesn't realise there can be two players there. Now, after Azu dies, Rainwaker's in such an isolated position that Falcons can take an easy 2v1 on him. And we can see in other rounds, it's not just Azu who's dying this way. This round, Gizmy is going to die for free on short with no trade potential. Now, when we look at it from Sampayus's perspective, we're going to see that the whole round, he's just staring at this wall. He doesn't even really care about the walk-up. Well, he is jiggling it sometimes, but he's clearly playing for what Gizmy is trying to do. He's not caring too much about the walk-up, and is instead hiding, waiting for this flash, and as soon as it pops, takes a peek out, kills him. He barely even takes a single point of damage. Now, if we take a look on strat base, we can try to understand why this might be happening. If we just highlight Gizmy and Azuru on these rounds, or a multi-view of all the buy rounds, we can see that if we fast forward a little bit, Gizmy being the green and Azure being the orange, the vast majority of the times that Gizmy's going to go up short, he's going to do this molly, and this flash is going to come at the same time. So there's one example. Here we're going to see him do the molly again. Oh, there's another flash. Here he wants to do the molly again. Molly, flash, molly, flash, molly, flash. Almost every single time he's doing this, he's doing the molly with the flash on the exact same timing, and very little is he going up short to take these fights dry, or is he waiting for the molly to burn and then doing the flash after. So if you're G2, you're obviously looking at this, thinking this is something that we can exploit to get an easy kill. And it's not just Gizmy. If we look at the round where Azu died on lower, we can think, well, Falcons were in this double setup and it was quite good. But why was it good? It was good because when we look at these rounds, if you do this really fast, how many times does Azu or Rainwaker flash lower? They've done it twice, 3 times. They've done it about 3 times in about 20 rounds. If they don't flash these players, they're almost certainly going to die. And even a lot of times when he does flash, he is solo. Look how many times Rainmaker is actually with him. There's only about 2 times here at this start round where Rainmaker's here, and even later, again, it's maybe only up to 4. Again, from Falcon's perspective, the analysis, it's pretty easy for them to work out that they could find an opening pick in this way. This video is powered by Stratbase, sponsored by UKCS Hub. Use code UKCS Hub at checkout for a 20% discount. Now, as we could see on Dust2, Monte really want to fight for this map control. But I like that the way that they fight map control is often a bit different. In this round, Gizmo gets flashed for a nice double, but normally what would happen is normally someone would get flashed to the left side of these smokes, more close to secret, but Gizmo just does it a little bit different to what is kind of meta, and flashes for the right side in something that's kind of unexpected for people to do, and gets him so many kills. Now after Monte clean up this round, we're going to see again what I mean when Monte like to do things just a little bit different. Look at this position that BMAS is playing on. He's not white to any of the flashes for the door pop, and he gets some really nice kills in which the Huns are never ready for him in this position, and it's just another way in which Monte can find these somewhat gimmicky, somewhat weird ways to win rounds, but no matter what, they find a way. And we can see this again and again. On this round, looking at Rainmaker on ramp, one position that you'd probably expect to be pretty much the same all round. You're kind of doing a smoke, you're playing an off angle, you're dropping B. But Rainmaker starting this back box on ramp, you're going to see him do a nice HE, and he kind of misses the timing, but he uses it to his advantage, whether he just hides at this box, and sure, the Huns should be ready for him, right? They should clear him, but he gives these teams an opportunity to fuck up. He gives them the chance to make the mistake, and he's going to get this nice kill. He could have got the second, but then he does the really important thing here where he stays alive and lets Afro come and support him. Afro's so ready for the angle, and then just to add the cherry on top, you're even going to see him molly out this position, making it another easy kill for Afro to get. This is another way in which Monte have managed to find a way to win a round by doing something a little bit different. And just continuing with the straight chaos, we can see Gizmo gets close Africa without the normal glaive smoke, and he's going to find the way to just kind of pull these kills out his ass. But I like the way that even though he's died, Huns think, okay, maybe the onslaught is kind of stopped, but Rainmaker is pushed so far up secret that they're just not ready for him. It's this kind of creative thinking and kind of just non-stop onslaught of pressure that actually makes Monte such an interesting team to watch. And we can see this again in this game against Heroic. Ismi's going to come towards secret. Nothing too special is happening now, right? He's just getting into position. Afro's got his cross. Everything looks pretty normal in this round. But then you're going to see him get mollied back in secret, and the smoke's going to come into hell. But now if we look at Rainmaker, Rainmaker's already came all the way back to hell. In fact, he's going to get all the way into CT pretty much. And Azur's close main. Everyone wants to fight here. Gizmo's even walked back up secret, and he's going to get chased down, and he can't really do too much more here. But then the interesting part is that Monte then fake the rotate, and they stay 4 up. Heroic could definitely have went B in this scenario, but Monte, rather than dropping, they just say, no, we want to fight for this map control. Rainmaker's not budged. He gets a nice kill. Afro's going to pick up the one after, and Monte are going to again clean up this round, and again, it's by doing something a little bit different, a little bit maybe off meta, and something that their opponents aren't going to expect. Although, I wouldn't recommend doing what Azur just done. Now, I've cut most of this round out, but I just want you to look at the end of this round. There's 30 seconds left. The T's have took ramp control so they can be hell, but your Opera's just dropped out of heaven and smoked heaven behind himself in a 4v3 for a teammate to hold. The Operas then went to Nitro to hold door and hut. Now, Monte are going to win this round, and it's kind of good, but you can imagine how hard this is for the opponents to understand what is actually going on in these rounds. And then, just to highlight again how willing Monte are to fight outside, we can see in this round, while Afro is in secret, Heroic did the triple wall smokes, but Afro is trying to still scale secret here. He doesn't see anyone, he wants to walk up more with the op in hand. He gets a nice entry, but then not just him, Rainmaker, the ramp player, is in heaven, Gizmi's in main trying to support, and Azu is also with him. Everyone here is playing together, kind of playing as this pack and trying to just overwhelm Heroic so that they don't actually get any space to do the things that they want to do. They don't want Heroic to get a late round. And never mind the late round. Afro's going to do some crazy shit in the start round as well. This round is an anti-eco playing against Tech 9s, and if you look at the numbers, he's 4 versus 3, but despite this, he's still going to stay close door with an op using it like a fucking shotgun. And guess what? It's going to work for him because he just doesn't give a fuck. And honestly, it's so refreshing to see someone with this playstyle playing at such high tier CS. However, as I've previously mentioned, Monte do struggle on the T side of the Nuke, just as they do the T side of Dust2, and again, it's mainly because of these trades. This round, we're going to see they are actually pretty grouped up outside. There are 3 guys here and there are 2 guys lobby. There's plenty of opportunities for trades. Gizmi again is going to play very safe on secret. He's going to take all the jiggles, going to bait out that shot. And when they know that op's there, they know that CT is fresh for the taking because that op is not going to be there to kill them. So they can just walk into garage, get a good pop flash, and get an easy kill onto Snappy. Now, the reaction here is good. To take fast heaven after this is really strong. However, Gizmi is quite unaware of how far away his team is, and he's actually going to die here, and you can see that his team are not ready to react. Azu is kind of the closest in hut, but it's still really difficult for him to go out. So if we look back, we're going to see that BMAS was ready to come with him, but then actually stops, goes back. He's actually going to go back and take that gun in the back of garage, and you can see how far away the team is. Gizmi here has got to be the person baiting, not the person entering. They're already scared of him in heaven. If Gizmi just waited a bit longer, the players on A site would have been absolutely fucked, but instead he gives them that opening kill, and they can just turn and then look at the rest of his team, and the round kind of just crumbles from there. I think if Monte could clean up this part of their game just a little bit and give themselves just 1 or 2 more rounds on T side, they could actually have a really good chance at winning a good few games at the major or even making it to stage 3. Especially because most of the teams in stage 2 really love playing Dust2 and Nuke, so I think they can actually be guaranteed to play those maps in pretty much all of their best ones, where, you know, anything can happen. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe.